welcome to another episode of the Weekend Special, Season 4, Episode 18. Goddamn, we're doing numbers this season. Yeah. My name is Khomoto Mukhatla. I'm here with my co-host Luatile.
I'm back. Top episode last week, by the way.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Makali for coming through. Marathon Mac for coming through with these medallions. That was a great episode, a great chat to have with him. Great achievement. Just to echo that again, finishing his first Comrades Marathon. But moving on to a new week, we're talking AFCON, and of course, talking soccer, we had to get a celebrated award-winning journalist.
I actually have won an award. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. It's sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I've got a trophy sitting at home and I have a certificate
For doing what
I love.
Yeah.
As if being paid to be a journalist in sport isn't it? It's just I have somebody who said you are actually better
than everyone at this game.
Morena Mothupi, award-winning sports podcaster, TV, radio,
Yay.
podcast, you name it.
We just have like a self-realization moment to start the show. Morena, how you doing, bro?
Yeah, no, I'm alive, man. I'm alive. I'm looking at the TV screen right now, and I see cars. I should be seeing the Proteas, but
Is it worth it?
no.
It's not worth it.
It's not even worth us talking about them at all today.
Right, so
Of course.
let's move swiftly along.
To better teams.
Yes, we're here to talk about the African Cup of Nations taking place in Egypt as we speak, a couple of days old now. We're talking through the groups. We're talking through the contenders, who the names are, the heavy names that are expected to be there in the latter stages of the competition. We're talking the politics of African football. I think maybe that's a good place to start, maybe. News coming out of CAF and FIFA.
That is no longer called CAF. That is called CAFIFA.
Yeah.
CAFIFA.
Yeah.
That's a dope name for it, actually. CAFIFA.
Now being run officially by FIFA.
What happened to Ahmad Ahmad?
Ahmad was called into questioning in France when he landed, like they all do, which is why they never go out of Africa. It's dramatic because media, we like sensationalism. So we're like, he was arrested. Michel Platini was arrested.
It's questioned.
Look, they were invited in because they are such heavyweights, they're such powerful people. You don't arrest them, you invite them in for questioning. Because there are allegations, beliefs, investigations regarding their involvement in particular corrupt activities.
Yeah.
Ahmad was considered to have been involved in a corrupt sponsorship dealing, reportedly involving Puma, who run African football in a way.
So like Total.
Yes. So what the circumstances surrounding that and his involvement are, we don't know. It's obviously going to be very hush-hush. Firstly, because AFCON is now already well underway, and secondly, because he is the president of CAFIFA. Well, deputy now.
So who's running? So right now,
the man running African football directly, and as we saw with his presence at the opening match in Egypt, is Gianni Infantino, the man who recently kept his position as the FIFA president. He's the man that's running. Let me correct myself. It's not him. It's him, but from the back. It's actually. I keep forgetting the Secretary General's name, and it's disrespectful because she is the first woman to hold such a high position in FIFA. Fatima. I know it's Fatima.
So Gwelemantashe of FIFA.
Gwelemantashe of FIFA is the woman who is running African football, and she happens to be African and actually understand African football better than Gianni Infantino. So she's the one who is handling the administration of CAF, because African football is broke. African football is, as it has been since Issa Hayatou took over, since some 50 years ago. African football is in disarray. It's
worse now.
It's at its worst. It's what Ahmad took over from Issa Hayatou was already bad. But then he just went.
He found a way to.
Somehow found a way. No.
This is apparently, if I remember correctly, this is the fourth or maybe fifth African Cup of Nations that isn't held by who it was awarded to.
Yes. In a row. And we were very much in the middle of it once upon a time.
Yeah.
Which was some 6 years ago. So us fighting for this is nothing new. we shouldn't have actually been fighting for it because we didn't fight for the one we took from Libya.
Yeah.
And it's always a North African team, or further up north.
So basically,
Of the equator.
other was Cameroon, I guess.
Yeah, Cameroon gave it to Egypt.
Yeah, Cameroon
Libya
gave
gave it to us.
And the other one was?
It's
I think it happened. So even the one that happened in Guinea, whatever, how that.
Equatorial Guinea.
Yeah. That one also was not awarded to
That one was originally awarded to them, and I think they had to split it with
Yeah,
Gabon because they couldn't afford
they
to.
had to split. I understand that.
There was also DR Congo was
There was also
involved
the
there.
DRC, and obviously because Joseph Kabila was just blowing the country apart, they couldn't just take it there. But necessarily, it's always a thing of you give it to countries that can't afford to host it. AFCON must always, unfortunately, go to South Africa, maybe Nigeria, Morocco, maybe Ghana. Actually, yes, Ghana.
Yeah.
Morocco, Egypt, Tunisia. I don't want AFCON going to the North African nations because they don't consider themselves part of this continent.
The only play is for kids.
They play because they're actually geographically in this continent.
But they
And because
We've had this chat several times.
And because
before,
it's easier for them to sell their players to Europe by putting them up on that big stage.
Yeah.
But for me, this tournament should be for Burundi, so that the likes of Saido Berahino can revive their careers. This tournament should be for the likes of Gabon, so that we don't just see Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and we can see the rest of his teammates. This should be for Uganda.
Yeah.
I mean, Uganda are not going to go out there and beat what has been one of the dark horses in every tournament. You know, the country that holds one of the best clubs on the African continent, you're not going to beat them 2-0 and then the world doesn't watch. AFCON should be for Uganda. Kenya, you know.
Okay, can I ask?
I will get very passionate about it. Politics aside, AFCON is amazing. It'll always be amazing. Just accept those dudes up there who think they're European.
Okay, now I have one question, right? About AFCON. I'm not.
Before we get into the tournament,
Yeah, before we get. What do you guys think about moving it to off season? Like,
I think it's a great decision. It was well overdue. For a long time, it's been impacting the marketability or the sellability of African players. It's always been a thorn in many European managers' side. So I think it's a great decision to finally move it to be in sync with the European summer.
But
I personally don't.
I don't agree with it
Yeah,
because
I don't care.
you're playing now in our winter. We're saying
I don't care about the European standard of football.
Yeah.
They've always dominated us and they've always thought they know what's best for us.
Yeah.
We've always found a way to do things differently. And until Isaiah stepped aside, we were doing things differently. You know, yes, it affected our players and how they lost their places in the clubs, but that forced them to be at that Mo Salah level, at that Sadio Mane level, where if you did leave your club fell apart.
yeah,
And they cannot not include you as soon as you come back. In fact, they will try and force you or encourage you to fake an injury.
Yeah, but
So that-
be a drug you know?
Exactly.
You must be a god level.
But for me, it's the principle, the significance of us having our tournament at our own time. African football having its own calendar that South African football just has never wanted to follow, which is okay. But African football has always done things its own way.
But now,
And I've appreciated the sentiment, the significance of them doing it their own
so
way.
because now, if you look at it, Champions League, they had to reconfigure the whole calendar. Champions League is now running the same way, right? Champions League is not going to run
CAF Champions League has, run. There's been 2 Champions Leagues in one calendar year.
so that they can reconfigure.
So that the World Cup and CAF can work, and it's sent African football to the shits for now. But I suppose that's what happens with change. Will it work to have the Champions League run the way it does? I don't know, because world football is still going to be thrown into the shits in 3 years, because we've decided, thanks to Sepp Blatter and Michel Platini, to send the fucking World Cup, to Qatar.
And that we're having a World Cup in December.
Exactly. So world football is still going to see itself going through ruins because of the decisions of Europeans, the very Europeans who decided to go give the World Cup to the coldest country in the world and then the hottest country in the world, and then just fuck up the calendar. You understand what I'm saying? So I hear the whole idea of there just needs to be uniformity in terms of how we run world football.
It's noble. It's a noble idea.
But the significance, symbolism, the sentiment of having African football run its own way, do its own thing. It's never stopped us from selling Michael Essien Saido Berahino, Victor Moses, Wilfred Zaha, Wilfred Bonny.
This guy.
It's never stopped us from selling all the African talent to the European clubs. They've always looked at January, February, and said,
Every other year.
we want that. I want to shut up pre-contract today. No. They've watched AFCON while they've watched Liverpool and Man United, and they've still come to the African continent and taken our talent. So, yes, for the sake of uniformity, and we can watch Premier League and CAF Champions League and UEFA Champions League all at the same time, it's great, but
it takes away some autonomy.
it takes away what we do ourselves. And
now it's really CAFIFA.
now it's really tough. But nevertheless, guys, we need to get into AFCON.
Okay, I think I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I think there's upsides, and downsides on both
Definitely.
sides.
Definitely.
But yeah, I can agree with the fact that the autonomy and the running of African football in itself. I think that's the bigger case for our own discussion. We need to get African football on.
I don't know.
Alright, gents, it's a mess, man.
No, we need to get African football out of this mess. Let's not even think about
Just
it.
need new people.
No, yeah. We need new people in South African football. We've needed new people in South Africa. Look, we just need to get African football out of this mess.
Yeah.
Administration, as much as we'd like to believe, will be the answer.
Yeah.
Be the answer. Because they can't even administrate their own federation in world governing body FIFA.
And it becomes easier for
So
them to impose.
what will the answer be? We'll see in 30 years.
Jesus Christ.
Because these,
All right,
these
then.
old hags running football now,
I'm not going to die. And
they're not going to die anytime soon. So let's just wait for them to die.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on and talk actually things that we like the football, the actual stuff that happens on the field.
It's been very disappointing, I must say.
Yeah.
I've been very disappointed with, and I was even tweeting about it, because agenda is better than facts. I'm going to slash the turnout of the African Cup of Nations outside of when Egypt and Tunisia play, and Morocco, I suppose. The turnout is horrible. And it cannot be said that people can't get to Egypt. Ghanaians, Nigerians, Nigeria couldn't even fill up the stadium for their own match. And we know why they can fill up our stadiums. But they can't fill up the stadiums.
I mean, Porter went.
Porter may be one colorful man who the camera will always pick up, but he's not an entire
But
stadium.
I'm just saying, to your issue of getting to Egypt, Porter Ushakile hike.
Which fell apart. Okay.
Ethiopia.
It fell apart. It fell apart in the middle of the continent.
I'm just saying, people could have made plans to go.
I understand, but for me, it's just the thing of the turnout has been terrible.
I just want to say we're not usually a negative show,
No, we're not. No. This is never a negative show, and it's not even my inclusion that makes it negative. But because we're still at the beginning, we need to get this out of the system.
So we go back.
Because
I just wanted to clarify.
we're going to get to the good stuff. And the good stuff that I'm going to start with is Uganda. But before we get there, the turnout has been terrible in the first couple of matches.
Okay.
And the action itself, I expected better from Egypt in the opening game.
It was pretty disappointing.
What do you think about Zimbabwe? Did they play well?
They played like a PSL team. And
Well,
not Mamelodi Sundowns.
And they
They're
are.
not a PSL team.
They are.
Neither is the Orlando Pirates. They played like Bloom Celtic on a good day. On a really good day. They played like Cape Town City winning MTN 8. They don't have the Zimbabwean identity. I don't know what that is, but it's not there.
Okay.
Kama Billiard cannot see the opportunity in front of him to take that Zimbabwean team
And then bounce
and run with it so that he can bounce and go to Belgium. Even if it's not now. Spend the first 6 months with Kaiser Chiefs, unfortunately, and then leave in Jan. But take this tournament and make it your own, because Nones Musola is already in Europe. He doesn't have to prove shit to anybody. And they're playing for the best team in Belgium. So he doesn't have to prove anything. You do. Because you've got Keegan Donny just falling apart that side. You've got your friend, Pesitao, showing you that it's possible, even though age may not be on your side. So that boy needs to take Zimbabwe and run with it. Marshall Muneti doesn't have to prove anything to anybody. He's already in Europe because Kozan knows how to sell his players. So Zimbabwe is playing too much like not even Zimbabwe. Bloom Celtic on a good day. Bloom Celtic beating Mamelodi Sundowns 5-0. That's what they're playing like. And it's disappointing because Egypt was there for the taking.
They were. They definitely were.
Egypt on Friday was there for the taking.
They definitely were.
Mo
I
Salah-
was hella disappointed.
Mo Salah wasn't. Mo Salah played better when he got injured, thanks to Sergio Ramos last year in the Champions League, than he did in the opening game of the AFCON that his country is hosting.
Yeah, that's true.
As for the other matches,
So, okay, cool. What is your takeaway for the first 3? I think I saw only one game.
Yeah, I also haven't seen a lot of the games. I saw the opening game in parts,
Yeah.
and I was very disappointed. Great opening ceremony for what it's worth. That's been my
and those
highlight.
are the positives. We're
that's-
getting into the positives.
that's been my highlight.
What's your part, really?
Sure.
No,
I didn't.
It was.
It really was.
It really was. No, I don't say that.
For an opening ceremony that had to be put together that quickly,
Yeah.
it was stunning.
It was great.
Okay.
So yeah, again, it was good turnout for that first game, but you'd expect that.
Yeah.
I
I think all the North African teams will have that.
Yeah,
Because I think Bafana Bafana takes in their game.
you'd expect that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to the rest of the tournament. I'm looking forward to the rest of the groups. You know,
Do you want me to go to
the
the
apparent yes, I was about to say actually,
All right.
and the apparent groups of death. Apparently, there is one.
The one that we're in practice group.
Apparently,
We're
yeah.
always in a group of death.
Yeah, regardless.
The deadliest group we've ever been in was the one 4 years ago, honestly, because it had Senegal, it had Ghana, it had Algeria. Algeria at its best, Ghana at because it's Ghana, and Senegal at
the rebuilding.
the rebuilding best,
Yeah.
where Sadio Mane started coming through.
Yeah.
So that was a group of this now here. Ivory Coast at their worst, Morocco, they
That's
had,
Morocco.
and then Namibia.
Our friendly neighbors.
Enrico Cortes. You know I used to play for Namibia, right?
Yeah, I know that.
That's what they have.
We gotta give up Otto.
Demi, Kima,
Otto.
yeah, you know.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, those are my thoughts on what's happened so far. Looking forward to the rest of the and the bigger names.
To start playing.
Honestly, if I'm gonna just like give my 1 cent in this, I think the tournament is not gonna live up to the hype it should live up to in the group stages.
Mhm.
The excitement is gonna come
Why do you say that?
because I'll tell you now. The excitement is gonna come in the knockout stages.
All right. Lead us.
When video assistant referees start getting involved.
Actually, I wanted to ask about that.
And I say this because the CAF Champions League final was proof of how video assistant referee is going to blow this tournament all sorts of places. Excitement, frustration, anger, and potentially violence. Video assistant referee on the African continent.
Wow. Okay, guys.
It's going to be incredibly entertaining. I can tell you that right now. So in the group stages, you'll get that odd referee
What if violence?
who decides.
I thought you were going to say corruption.
No.
That's something.
No, violence.
It's going to get ugly, and it's going to be the group stages are going to depend on the referee, and our referees they come to games depending on the mood they're in, and so
We all know what's going to happen.
yeah. So Runa,
Morocco's not going to lose.
but for us, if we beat Ivory Coast and we haul up Namibia, the decisions in the Morocco game will go our way because they'll look at us and say, Tim Nkosi Lodge, Stuart Baxter, the white man. Okay, cool. They should be respected. So Pesita will kick the shit out of one defender and he won't get sent off. As if that was the other way around. Morocco is, you just do anything to them. You know what I'm saying? VAR.
Is that okay?
VAR is going to show just how hopeless African referees tend to be. Not that they are, tend to be, except for Gassama from Gambia.
Yeah.
Shout out to Gassama, best referee in the world, in my
Shout out
opinion.
Victor Gomez.
Oh,
Is there?
he's the best referee we have. He's now the Daniel Bennett of South African
And
referees.
he's retired. Daniel Bennett last week.
That's because Victor Gomes is
Okay.
vouching.
Okay, cool.
But yes, Victor Gomes, because South African man and Mr. Red Card doesn't fuck around.
That's not fucking
And then-
not to be fucked.
And then you've got Gassama from Gambia. I say
That's
again, shout out Gassama.
That's the guy who handled that African game, right? The first day of the African game.
That's the guy who's handled every African game and not lost it.
It was the same guy.
If that's the same guy, I think the first day in Joburg, if that's the guy, then
Shout out to him.
Shout out to him because I think we've spoken about North African teams, and I want to look at the camera and say, I genuinely don't like them, whether it's at club level and at country.
North African teams and just the country itself.
Yeah. But yeah, I think me and you share the same sentiment, right?
Strongly.
They're gonna get home
Ground advantage.
ground advantage and decisions because
Yeah,
in that region, and because they do that shit very laser, that hooliganism level in Europe that I don't necessarily understand why they have to practice fucking
just things playing in the stadium, just
Masipao. I hate that shit so much. So they're going
I
to
wonder
get
if
those
they
and you raise an interesting point how they're going to introduce VAR and quarterfinals, right?
I'm still stuck on
But
that.
why? Why can't we just have it from now?
I think it's the infrastructure.
One, two, you're integrating the system into African football.
Yeah.
And although they might want to call it integration, throwing it at the knockout stages that's when it's at its worst, African football, where it's do or die. One set piece that born into. So many mistakes are going to be made. And it's not even going to be the VAR's fault. It's going to still be these hopeless referees' fault. Because he'll look at the footage. He'll see Percy Tau being manhandled in the box by, I don't know, give me a player.
Koulibaly.
By Koulibaly.
The future Man United.
By the way, Koulibaly is the love of my life. I need him at Man United so badly. I love him so much. But still, he'll be manhandled with Percy Tau, the best player in the Belgian First Division. In the box, the referee will do his thing, run off to his TV, look at it, see it, nod his head while talking to the guys behind,
and then run back.
run back,
and
do
then
this,
decide
and then
okay,
say no.
No foul.
That's what he will do.
No foul. TIA.
Exactly. And not because the decision, but because he just wasn't in the mood to give it to South Africa. South Africa, whether we feel it's because we are like the Americans of the African continent, we're arrogant. No, we are genuinely a disliked country, and decisions always go against us.
We even hated it, sad.
We even hated in SADC, and that's why you get a Mamelodi Sundowns doing what they do on the African continent, being so spectacular, so much so that even Peter Musimane is analyzing games in the very country that despises him.
He's an analyst.
Shout out Peter Musimane. He's an
Egypt.
analyst in Egypt
On one of the
for
TV.
Egyptian television.
That's because the Egyptians love Peter.
Yes, because
they respect
Because he's showing them a side of themselves.
Guys,
but it's not just us that
No.
can do this shit.
no, just be straight up about it. He beat the team of the century 5-0.
And Zamalek.
No, the team of the century.
No, I'm just saying.
Nobody cares about Zamalek.
No.
The team of the century. He beat them 5-0. That's what Peter Musimane did. So nevertheless, what I'm saying is VAR is going to come into the knockout stages, and it's going to end up with the referees having to decide where decisions go.
Can we change the channel?
That's where we're not going to.
We're not going to change.
We're not
the
going to.
We're going to watch through this.
Nevertheless, if you want to know, Al was talking about the Proteas. That's and then Tabitha Chalala decided to change it because and then he changed it back.
Answered.
That's the Take Ali podcast's guru right there that I've just mentioned. Catch them on the next episode. Nevertheless, VAR is going to ruin African football because of the referee's interpretation of it, as we've seen in women's football. Women's football hasn't just gone on in the World Cup; it's gone to the dogs,
And also
they've misinterpreted the decisions in front of them.
what I've seen is that the North African players and their mobbing and the pressure they do on refs. Can you imagine with VAR?
Those niggas are gonna
want
footage.
everything.
They wanna watch the footage. The
Don't
whole,
let go
the whole
of-
CAF final is being replayed because of VAR.
It's gonna be very interesting.
The Confederation of African
I'm gonna move us on.
Please can we move on?
I'm gonna move
Because
us
you want
on.
to get into the CAF final. That's
No, I don't want to.
Oh,
Let's do a group by group analysis.
Okay, cool.
Talk through the groups.
Group A, right?
Yeah, talk through the groups. Talk through who
perhaps
who
we
is
can
like-
leave
is
the
likely
one,
to make it out.
maybe to leave the one South Africa is involved in for last.
Okay, cool. So Group A,
Okay.
Egypt, Zimbabwe,
Yeah, that match is already played.
Uganda, yeah, cool.
I give it to Egypt and Uganda.
All right.
Why?
Egypt, sure.
Egypt because they're the best team in there. Uganda because they've proven that
They're a good side.
they're a good side.
They
What Milutin Sredojevic built with that team, that now even a lot of people who have never really cared about Uganda even know what their nickname is, myself included.
I don't know.
I may be an award-winning sportscaster.
Pretty flame.
I didn't know what they were until Mitchell was involved. They call the Cranes.
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 Yes, the birds.
The Cranes.
Sounds
Yes.
like a netball team.
That's what Uganda is. And they have the best goalkeeper in the continent, by the way. Shout out Dennis Unyango. Egypt and Uganda because I genuinely
Who's the
believe-
keeper? Ajax.
Ajax.
Yeah.
Which Ajax?
Ajax Amsterdam. Atlantic.
Oh, that's Onana.
Yeah.
Yeah, Onana.
Is he not from Ivory Coast?
If you're wondering what Mr. Mahatma was doing, the Proteas. That's your answer.
I need to stop. I need to stop reacting.
So yeah, that's no. I genuinely believe they're playing like really good football.
Okay.
DRC will probably, try to bounce back off of Zimbabwe with their loss to Uganda. But if Uganda are going to drop 2 goals off of set pieces the way they did against the DRC, but still be able to play.
Was that a draw?
Which one? The Uganda DRC.
Yeah.
It was Uganda 2-0 over DRC.
2-0.
Both goals set pieces yesterday afternoon. But for me, it's the kind of football Uganda is now playing. It's enterprising, on the floor,
Yeah.
but they also know how to go aerial. And that's going to be a
So
problem.
they play like pirates.
They-
I can read the build by nature. I'm just asking. I'm not no malice.
Apparently, Pirates not really even run by Mitchell. So it's not even good there. Anyway, but they do play that Mitchell football. It's versatile. You can beat them on the floor, you can beat them in the air. And for them, it's because they're further up the continent. They've got guys who are in the air and they're physical.
And they're tall as hell.
Exactly. So for them, that's where the advantage is going to. And because just nobody expects them to do what they did against the DRC. So Egypt, because although they can shock you, but Egypt because they're hosting it and they're the better team in the group. And I think Uganda, DRC, Zimbabwe, right there at the bottom of yours.
I'm gonna agree. Egypt, naturally. Zimbabwe. They didn't look too convincing for me against Egypt when they created those chances or when a team was there for the beating.
All right.
So I'm not too convinced about them. Uganda, I'm gonna go with the award-winning journalist.
That's why he's the expert.
That's why he's here. What is the other team in there? GR Congo.
Yeah, Congo.
Do you know that they have TP Mazembe in their country? How do you just go, what's the other team?
DR Congo. No, man. I genuinely forgot the list.
I would like to see. I think Zimbabwe will be the
That's the PSL fan in him coming out.
No. I think of what I saw yesterday, the highlights. I didn't watch the whole game.
Of
Zimbabwe,
Zimbabwe.
of Congo versus Uganda.
Yeah.
Even at the PSL standard, I think DR Congo, for some strange reason, it's not translating the dominant Amazon into that team.
Yeah.
It doesn't translate, and I think
That's struggle too.
Zimbabwe have a bit of edge when it comes to
Yes.
the team, and so the game that becomes the decider for me is their game against Uganda, and for me that's where I don't want to call it. I personally would like to see Zimbabwe a little bit far.
Yeah.
Just for PSL and just regional football as a whole. I think
I shared the sentiment when Cameroon won the tournament 2 years ago, and it was when Willem Katsande was playing his last tournament, and Willem Katsande was still very much at the top of his game then.
Yeah.
They failed. They were hot at the time. It was a couple of months after Kamabinat had gone to Egypt. Club World Cup. Was still signed with Sundowns. A lot of the players in there it was when Knowledge Musoma was fighting to get into the top of Belgian football. It was at a time when Zimbabwean football burst back onto the African continent, and they were like, we're here now. And they failed to go further than when people expected. So
I'm gonna call different. I'm gonna call Egypt Zimbabwe. I'm a gambling man, so I'll go that route.
And how's that good for you?
Okay. Moving swiftly along. Group B.
Nigeria, Burundi, Guinea, Madagascar.
Nigeria, Burundi, Guinea, Madagascar.
So Nigeria and fishermen.
Guinea know how to last for 90 minutes, and they showed that against Madagascar.
yesterday. I was actually shocked.
They know how to last. I mean, it's not shocking because it's Madagascar. Yes, Andrea Mirado, Adriana Rimanana may be there, but yes, I did
This
say
called that's his full name.
Yeah, I practiced it many a time to go on air on radio to say his name full because
Please say it again for me.
Andrea Mirado, Adriana Rimanana. I just like respecting people's names, man. That's just like
So
a
for
thing.
those that don't know who that
Does he have a
is,
nickname?
Dax.
Dax.
The fisherman watch Kaizer Chiefs number 6.
The homie. Oh, okay.
And he's called the fisherman one number 6, but he's been the best player in the last couple of games for the club at the end of the season.
The homie Dax.
The homie Dax.
Shout out
The
Dax.
homie from the island.
Ramalana,
So yeah, I mean, what they did, Guinea against Madagascar, was very interesting. And this is Guinea that, by the way, has the Champions League winning Naby Keita as their captain.
Was he playing?
I wasn't watching the match because there's Naby Keita in there, and Dax, Liverpool, Kaizer Chiefs, and Man United and Orlando Pirates. So anyway, Guinea lasting 90 minutes.
This guy.
Guinea lasting 90 minutes was impressive.
This is like audio gold.
Was very impressive, you know, and I think that's the kind of surprise they will send out to Nigeria, who struggled against Saido Berahino and Burundi. Saido Berahino, who was once touted to join Tottenham Hotspur in England before he had a bit of a meltdown.
Before he had a spectacular
at West Brom, is the captain of Burundi. Yes, Burundi, the one that's war-torn. They are in the AFCON, and they're doing quite amazing, having held Nigeria for as long as they did. So, if I'm going to ask who gets out, I genuinely think Nigeria and Guinea. I would like Burundi, you know, because I love an underdog story. And Madagascar, because they beat Bafana Bafana.
I was hoping that wouldn't come.
But no. I think Nigeria and Guinea, but Nigeria having really had to fight to win that group.
Morena? Who's coming up?
Agreed.
I'm just gonna agree to expert.
I'm saying, like, what?
I am. I'm sorry. Nigeria, based on their strength and the quality of players that they have, even though they could only manage a 1-0 yesterday. I don't know too much, to be honest. I don't know too much about Burundi, and neither about.
Okay, I'm gonna go a bit left. What I saw from Madagascar yesterday.
You were impressed?
I actually underestimated them. My good friend here once told me about it. You told me shit about the quality team that I didn't know that they're quality team. To play against, like the way they played against Guinea. So while we were drinking yesterday, I was actually watching the game. And I like what I saw from Madagascar. Yeah, it was the last thing. But Nigeria, I would like to see Nigeria and Madagascar come out. And I think Madagascar or Burundi would come out that group.
I mean, I'll give Madagascar, you know, a side shout out to say that they didn't leave it to the last game like we did to qualify for the AFCON.
Yeah.
And for a team that doesn't even have a professional league. So that's playing for Kaizer Chiefs. It's his first professional contract.
That's why
ever signed.
That's why they could sign him in the middle of the year.
But they struggled to sign him in the middle of the year
Bobby.
because not a lot of Madagascan players ever leave the country.
Yeah.
So for them to have done what they did, you know, it reminds me of Mauritania slapping the shit out of Bafana Bafana. I mean, I'll always use my national team because everybody just walks all over us. But we are a superior team to the likes of Madagascar, but we have lost to them. So for what Madagascar did, firstly, in beating us in COSAFA, translating that into the AFCON qualifiers and actually qualifying with games in hand, and then holding Guinea for as long as they did, says a lot about the kind of, they were leading them at one point actually. Guinea had to come from behind to win that game.
Yeah.
So for them to do what they did sends a very strong message, but they are still Madagascar at the end of the day.
Okay, cool. I think I was impressed with Burundi, the way they played. They were very organized against Nigeria, frustrated the shit out of them. But I'm also impressed by that. I don't think Guinea, if you had said me, show me this list before the game that I saw, I would have probably just said Nigeria, Guinea, out of just pure. But after seeing these other two teams, I'm saying Nigeria is going to go through, but whoever comes with them is another story. Because now Guinea, if they play Nigeria and lose, which they probably will draw, the whole group is like And that draw from yesterday throws that whole group one.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to just call Nigeria, but anyone in that group for me can go.
Okay.
Group C.
Yep.
Senegal.
Yep.
Tanzania. Algeria, Kenya. I think we will agree on this one.
No, we don't.
Okay, cool.
By that, do you assume Senegal and?
Algeria.
No. I go Senegal and Kenya.
Okay.
No Algeria.
I think this is the dislike for North African teams.
No, it's
Coming
actually not.
through, yeah.
No, it's not.
It's okay.
It's in this case, it's actually I've got more respect for Algeria than I do for Egypt, Tunisia, and Morocco. So for me, it's actually a thing of Riyad Mahrez spent far too much time at Manchester City doing nothing. And he now has to reinvent himself. And even worse is that he actually didn't lead Algeria into the African Cup of Nations. It was a team effort. But that team isn't the team that was once the best team on the continent. Algeria was once number one on the continent.
Okay, cool.
And it was around the time that Riyad Mahrez did win the league with Leicester. But for me, it's I don't know. Victor Wanyama is going to urge those Kenyans on the same way he did throughout the qualifiers to get them into the situation that they find themselves in. They're gonna, all three of the teams there with
Is there
Senegal,
enough quality in there?
there's a team effort. There's hunger. He's the only quality in that entire nation.
The rest of them probably play for Tusker or some shit.
Yes.
That's my concern.
but for me, it's again, this is the underdog lover in me coming out to say that you only need a navigator in Guinea. Yeah, he is. A Victor Wanyama in Kenya, to fight Khalidou Koulibaly, Sadio Mane. I'll count that entire Senegal team. I mean, you need just one guy to rally that whole squad out and say,
so what you're saying is,
yes, it's what I want. I'm predicting what I want. But will it be what happens? We never know.
So what you're saying is that Victor Wanyama will be Maximus and lead against two quality teams. So they have to have two perfect games. It's not just one. So if let's say they were in the other group that we just discussed, I agree with you. But
they have to beat one of Senegal or Algeria. And if they can do that, they're through to the next round.
okay, cool.
That's literally what
I
has to
do
happen.
not see that happening.
What's your feeling?
You know me, stock standard. No, Senegal, Algeria.
Just go with the favorites.
I'm going with the powerhouses, Chief. I'm not a betting man. Go with the odds.
Now, I'm going to say this. I don't like underdog stories. They piss me off because they'll beat a contender and then go lose and just bend over someone else in the next round. So I'm not an underdog lover at all. I'm going to Senegal and Algeria.
This is the same man that enjoyed the fact that France won the World Cup and had France not, or rather, let me put it this way, had France been in the same World Cup with a super strong Spain, a super strong Brazil, and a super strong Germany, and potentially a half average England because they were below average. It's coming home.
It's coming home.
Yes, now, please. It would have been a different story for France.
It's gotta be.
But France was not an underdog.
France are not an underdog, but the underdogs got rid of Argentina, Portugal, Germany, Spain.
Some of those
You
teams.
just said Argentina. Look what they're doing in Copa. But
Some
that's
of
another
those teams
story.
got rid of themselves.
Yeah. So please, man.
Bova, TJ.
I'm not a fan of the underdog. Okay, cool. Group D. Group D is us.
Skip.
Group E. Tunisia, Angola, Mali, Mauritania.
Tunisia, Angola, Mali, Mauritania. I'm going Mali.
Yeah.
And Tunisia.
Yeah.
This man chose the best team on the continent as his second option. But he claims he's not a betting man. He wants to go for the safe option. That's what he just did. Tunisia is the best team on the continent. You start with them. You don't start with Mali. You don't even know their ranking.
Mali's got decent players.
One player. Give me one.
Semantics.
Give me one.
I know for a fact. There's a case at that.
No.
There is.
No. At least I can bet on Kamara.
There's a one decent player. I just forget.
You do know Freddie Kanute doesn't play anymore, right?
I just forget his
And
name. There is a good Italian.
And Keita doesn't.
That's either in the
Indicator that I feel in here, it's what?
Yeah, he doesn't play.
Wow.
That's what he did, though.
But I can tell you there's a cater and a camera in that team. I can tell you that for free.
But nevertheless, look, you can't disagree with this one. I'll never pick Mauritania for what they did to us. So they're bottom of the group with no wins at all, no points,
Mauritania.
probably not even a goal.
I don't even know what the fuck that is.
Yeah, you should because they beat you 3-1.
They did.
Yeah, that's because they probably had to travel for 5
It does.
minutes.
It does talk
But
about
everything.
It's in the corner, top left corner of
Sure.
the African continent.
Yeah, but what?
I can't even place them.
It's okay. You don't have to.
But get there.
They're
Yeah.
also near Cape Verde.
No, keep it.
Get to the island.
But by virtue of what they did to us, they're very close to Cape Verde.
Yeah.
Very close to Cape
Okay,
Verde.
cool. Okay, guys.
So you see the similarities.
Yes. But if
Mutuamo.
so Homoko's going with Mali and Tunisia. Disrespect.
When are you going with Tunisia?
I'm going
And
with
Mali.
Tunisia and Mali.
Wow.
Who's the third team outside of Mauritania in that group?
Angola.
Oh my God. Manucci. Remember Manucci?
No, look, I'm going.
I don't know about
Tunisia.
I don't know about Tarabwa.
I'm going Tunisia, Mali.
Angola refused to play us Bafana Bafana in a training game because they hadn't practiced enough. They landed in Egypt and they were tired and they couldn't give us a training match. So they can also eat a dick.
Right.
So Tunisia and Mali. In that order.
Yes.
1 and 2.
Yes.
When are you saying Tunisia will qualify second? Come to yeah. Group. I think that's it. No, it's not. It's not.
It's 24 teams, my friend.
2014, isn't it? So Group A.
He wears glasses. Dyslexia. It happens.
Benin, Togo. This is qualified, sorry. That's why I just went too far. Group G, that's us. E. It's not F.
So it's done. It's 5 groups of 24.
5 groups of 4. 6 groups of 4.
Should be. It's done then. Then we go back to Group D.
Which is South Africa, the Ivory Coast, Morocco, and those other guys.
Yeah.
And
All right, let's chop this one up a bit.
I called them up like that because that's how I see the group ending. South Africa, the Ivory Coast, Morocco, and Windhoek. I genuinely believe Hervé Renard's dominance
We'll continue.
comes to an end.
Come on.
He can't do any better than Zambia. And he most definitely will not do any better than the Ivory Coast.
Okay.
He got a superpower team at the right time with the right players, and he won the AFCON with them. Ivory Coast. He got an underdog team. He put his name out there. Kazi Esko Lezanako.
Yeah.
Put himself there, and
Bobby's shopping list.
and yes, and you know, he did what he had to do some 7 years ago. He failed dismally with Morocco in the World Cup. So much so that Mehdi Benatia is sitting in Qatar, rotting. So that's the best player in the team. Imagine being captained by a guy who's playing in the desert. That's what's happening with Morocco. As if their desert is not bad enough. They're fetching the Qatar desert. So anyway, Morocco doesn't have, outside of Ziyech, who honestly is not going to do against us what he did against Juventus and Real Madrid.
You don't think so? Because he doesn't have the same support around us.
That's the first thing I said when they capitulated in the Champions League final, semi-final. Ajax Cape Town, Amsterdam. That Ziyech doesn't have the lift, the root, and all the dares in the team. He doesn't have them in Morocco. So he may have a superstar coach. We have superstar players. We have Percy Tau. We have Percy Muzi Tau. So I genuinely believe Morocco is going to see flames. Yes, they did give, can't even remember who it was. Portugal, Australia.
I do see him terrorizing some members of our defense.
Listen. That is because talent will always come up, but the talent must be complemented by.
Tamsan Kamkiz are going to change the shit out of him for 90 minutes.
That's what it is. But for me, I genuinely think.
I worry about
Morocco. No. For me, that's if we're not even going to make it out the group, it'll be because our defense just blew up as I expected to. But if we progress further than the quarterfinals,
I'm calling a final.
if we get that far,
if we get out the
if
group,
we get that far,
if we get out the group, we're making it.
it will be because Darren Keat just was on drugs. Tamsang Mkize was on way too much Red Bull. And Swiso Shanti remembered that
He's a defender.
he's a defender. As a vet, you know, I do not trust Bukem Kwanazi. I do not trust Bukem Kwanazi, but he just so happens to be better than Daniel Cardoso.
And
Then again, everybody is.
And then you get Tyson.
No, Tyson is the captain. Tyson has to kind of.
Do we have the way you described Victor Wanyama?
Yeah.
Who's our centralist?
Victor Wanyama. We don't necessarily. We had that in Idumilengu. The guy that'll. No, my man. No. Listen to what I'm saying. Victor Wanyama doesn't need to play an A game. He just needs to shout at everybody else to play an A game and hide his disappointments, which there will be. All right. With us, Idumilengu both brought an A game and a voice to inspire an A game. We don't have that. Tyson. This is coming from a journalist. I will go to a Big Festival's press conference. My phone has to be down Tyson's throat for us to get like
Sound bites.
audible sound bites from him. He doesn't talk much. He's a reserved guy who likes to keep. He's very silent. So with Tyson, I'm not going to call him out.
Just gonna. Okay, I wasn't expecting. I'm not even saying that Tyson.
We don't have that.
We don't have that.
But we have it in their performances. Dean Furman. Dean Furman must graft so hard that he picks up an injury by the end of the group stages. Hopefully not, because we need him to keep grafting non-stop. We need players that are going to throw their bodies on the line.
Yeah, Dean Furman is definitely
that player.
So
we need Pesta to score a Tembikhatana kind of goal.
We need him to convert all the chances.
That's leadership. We don't have leaders.
And that automatically will pick up the performance.
Yeah, we don't have leaders in the team.
I look at that team, right? And the squad of 23 that he took. You went with 22. Huh? 22. I said, oh,
it's 22.
Yeah, the journalist is correct.
No, it's 23, but there's Ramakin Patel, which makes it 22.
Okay, now I agree with him. There's 22 niggas and Ramakan Patel who should not be there. He didn't take Cardoso, did he?
All due respect, he did.
So there's 20.
Cardoso is Muslim Kwanazi's replacement.
So there's 21.
21.
There's 21.
With all due respect to Ramakan Patel, by the way, I have no beef with the man. I just don't think he's good enough to be in the national team. As a right backup. He's not been good enough for Kaizer Chiefs at its worst, by the way. At Kaizer Chiefs' worst, he wasn't good enough for that team. So he shouldn't be representing South Africa at a time when South Africa has the best chance of actually making it to not just the quarterfinal, but the semi-final and even the final. If not, God willing, we win this title. Ramaki should not be in there. So I cannot beef with there. I just have beef with the fact that he's just not who he used to be. So anyway,
I've never rated him. So there's 21 people there. I'm looking at that team and saying, Chrissy is going to start. Sure. We have LeBron Tito just coming off a dope season in France. We have easily one of the persons who in my opinion, was Rock Player of the Season, Tembazwane, in the team. He's going to start. We have Player of the Season himself, Tembisane. Tembinkos.
Please respect the man.
I'm asking.
I had to step in. I really did.
And there's a Kaizer Chiefs fan stepping in, by the way.
I don't support Kaizer Chiefs. That's
untrue. Non-bipartisan.
That's an untrue. I don't support Kaizer Chiefs. I do not, in any capacity, represent Kaizer Chiefs. So we have Lodge. I think for me, those are the guys.
Lodge is starting?
Lodge is going to start.
Lodge is replacing Keegan Tony on the left wing. If Stuart Baxter doesn't do it like that, he's just.
He took Vilagazi as well.
Yeah, Vilagazi is the backup striker.
So
yes, there's Lars Veldweg as well, but Lars Veldweg, if he's lucky, will get 10 minutes against Namibia.
Has this man seen African football?
He's coming up with a great season.
Every time he's been called up, he's shown up. Has he played? Yes, he has. Against who? Probably in the Nelson Mandela Cup.
Hey, Africa is no joke.
But for me, it's the thing of he has got the energy that says, Nobody knew where he was at one point.
And that guy is showing up.
And he's like, you know
he
what?
just won best player of the second division
in Holland, yes. But for me, it's the thing of he's there. You know, he's not a South African. He's not a South African. He's not the guy just wants to play for a national team. He's not good enough to play for the Netherlands, which at one point was really sad because anybody was good enough for the Netherlands, but he's never been good enough for the Netherlands, and he decided, you know what? Let me just go to the country where my dad was born, and let me just go try play for them. And we were like,
we just need
someone. You've got an exotic foreign surname. Come through. Come through.
No, guys, but I believe we just need someone who, in 3 chances, will score. I think we have that in Leo Motiva.
Three chances, he'll definitely score 1.
Yeah, we need someone that
3 chances, Placita will score them all. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan of Percy, but you know, there was in the game.
I think he only scored 2 out of the 3.
So I think he's improved now as a finisher.
Definitely. He's better than what he was in that 6-0 win over the Seychelles.
Yeah, so now he's better than that. So we need him and Lebo to clear that all those opportunities. I think we need them to gonna make Lebo shine.
Yeah.
I think we can agree on that. Correct.
And that's actually a really good point. Percy needs to make Lebo shine. Because Percy's already shining. Percy's on fire. He's on that Super Saiyan, God knows what level. Yeah. But now he needs to make his striking partner shine so that there's that telepathy.
Chemistry. Yeah. And I think we're approaching a point where those two are getting to that click. That Mo Salah, Sadio Mane type, I know where you're going to be. Instinctively, I can tell a ball.
I know where you're going to be. I know what kind of run you're going to be.
We're approaching those levels with those two, I think. And for me, looking at our midfield, I think Dean must start. Most people won't agree with me.
No, Dean must start.
Dean must start. Apart from Dean, Kima Otomata.
No what?
Yeah, Dean Wamata.
And Kamelu Mukojo is No. Kamelu Mukojo, you must remember, is the only South African player in England right now. Mm-hmm. So he wants to make sure he never leaves England.
And he doesn't want to get injured.
And he ain't trying to get injured, especially at an AFCON where he has no guarantee he'll even make it out the group. So Kamala Mukojo and all about Go England, they kick him non-stop because he is dangerous for Brentford.
Yeah.
He's dangerous.
And he's good up ball. He's a very good pass completion.
He's amazing.
The stats look amazing.
He's just not done it for us because what's harder? But when he does decide to do it for us,
like in the game against Libya,
yes, he's going to lose the ball. And when he does that, Nkwala is going to have to be there to clean.
That thing is a workhorse, Chief.
The workhorse, we need him. I think against the team that started against Nigeria, not Team Ghana in that first warm-up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Team 1 will be the starting team, right? And I'll see a switch in the second game. I think the second game, yes. Yes. I see Cyril coming into that team and then putting out one extra attack. I think
most likely Lodge. If Lodge even starts the first.
If Lodge starts, I think that's still up in the air for me.
So basically the team we're all playing in our heads, which we played before we went on air, was guaranteed Popeye. And then of course Santi on the left, Mkiza on the right, with the big boys in the center. And then we've got Dean Furman cleaning up and backing up the defense.
In front of
and then you've got Kamelo ahead of him who will be spraying the passes. Lodge on the left, Zwanyu flanking the right, and then you've got Lebo and Percy in front. That's supposedly team number 1.
Yeah.
Which will be backed up by maybe Smoothie Lagazi. Backed up by maybe Kompokekana, Tiani Mabunda, and then backed up by Tulani Severo. Hopefully we never need to bring in a defensive cover because
Maida is not as amazing. It's not because he played for Paris.
Genuinely, it's because he's that amazing, just not in national colors. He doesn't do for Bafana ever. Oh yes, he doesn't do for Bafana ever what he does for Pirates.
Okay. So I'm saying our group looking at it, SA is going out of that group, not with Ivory Coast. I think they're going out of Morocco. Ivory Coast are not the same. I suffer.
Tough chat.
I suffer Ivory Coast for me.
those guys had a golden generation for
For long, Jim.
For
They had
12 years.
a couple of golden generations.
For 12
They had
years.
a golden generation as far back as the 2006 World Cup. And
Yeah.
all they've ever done was fail, including 2012.
So it's very possible, correct. But this just sums up this
Right. We're recording a podcast here, guys.
I'm sorry. The Proteas. Sorry, it's the Proteas. But Ivory Coast.
Just not the same, yeah.
Not the
No,
same.
they're not. And
I think on a balance of looking at everyone in the last 12 months, I think South Africa have the best team in the group.
South Africa have the best attack in the group. Dare I say it, in the tournament.
Bai is not playing. Bai is out.
Bai is out.
Koulibaly plays for Senegal.
Bai is out.
As a collective, and we're not saying that there are no better players than Percy Tau.
No, for sure.
But we're saying as a collective, looking at Mutiba, looking at Percy, looking at Zwani, what he's done on the continent, looking at what Lodge has done for Pirates.
Looking at what these boys have done for their club, and also looking at what some of these boys did for South Africa against Libya. I mean, yeah, one could say, but it was Libya. They are war-torn, they can't even play in their own stadium. They are Libya, and we are Bafana Bafana, who blew a World Cup chance for Cape Verde. So, looking at what our South Africans did against Libya when they needed to not lose the game against Libya to qualify for AFCON, and instead, Brazil was like, I go draw.
I'm going to win.
That attitude of we only need a draw. That's all we need.
But they went for a win.
But they win for a win. That's what makes me genuinely believe that the team we have is the best from midfield.
We have opinion.
My worry, and it's always been a worry. In fact, that it like permeates throughout all of South African sport. Mentality and consistency. To produce that consistently has always been a concern for me.
3 good
And
games.
I worry about that. I worry about us getting to a stage where we're whipping out calculators and saying, well, if this person
I don't
beats
have
that
that
person,
fear.
12 mil and
I'm looking
whatnot. You know, we need to be able to take things in our own hand.
I look at that group and say, I don't have that fear.
You're either going to get out the group or get knocked out.
I'm saying we're going like number one.
That's genuinely where I think South Africa is now.
We're going with that group with 7.
We are getting out of that group with no less than 7 points, or we're getting knocked out. We're going to draw with Namibia and get followed by both Ivory Coast and Morocco. Or we're going to draw the Ivory Coast because it's the opening game of the tournament and everybody's just a little tentative. And we're going to shag Morocco while shagging Namibia as well. So for me, there's no gray area. There's no middle ground.
Very clear.
It's both extremes. You lose or you win. And when you win, the way we expect them to, whatever comes in the knockout stages,
we're ready for it. I don't see any team and say, I'm scared of this particular team. I look at the whole AFCON and say, if we make it out that group,
fear shouldn't be. It shouldn't be.
You look at that. You
shouldn't
look at African football now. There is no one team that's a powerhouse. Maybe Senegal. I think they're the closest to a powerhouse.
They are the powerhouse. They are the team to beat.
They are Senegal. Are the
They're
team
genuinely the team to beat.
Maybe Senegal, but we did beat them in Senegal, right?
Cheating
Hey,
Well,
man,
doesn't matter. Can you win? Hey,
take them how they come. TIA, baby. TIA.
This guy is
Still took it away from me, but nevertheless, we went toe to toe with them.
yeah.
We went toe to
So
toe.
is there any team that you said, if Bafana have complete performance, they can't beat? I'm going as far as saying, off the back of a disappointing under-20 World Cup, Banana, Proteas, under-20 Rugby World Cup.
And potentially upcoming disappointing Rugby World Cup.
Yeah.
And maybe
I'm looking at Bafana Bafana. For the first time, I'm looking at Bafana Bafana.
This guy throwing the netball World Cup in there.
My guy, we've just had a fucking shit year as a sporting country. I'm looking at it and saying, maybe
we're gonna win the World Cup when it comes here in 4 years. We're not gonna win the World Cup now.
Netball
in Liverpool, no. Okay. That's just my belief. And it's okay. It must be won here. History must be made here at the Rembrandt Hall.
But all I'm saying is I look at Bafana Bafana as the only team right now that can at least govern the country. The country needs Bafana to do it.
And by the way, Stuart, we know you're not going to be watching this. Actually, no. I'm going to speak it into existence. You're going to see this and you're going to hear this. We don't want you, Stuart. We don't want you to win AFCON. We do, but we don't. We want you to do better than you've ever done, which you have now. You've ever done with Bafana. You've already exceeded what you did 13, 14 years ago by qualifying for this tournament.
Now,
I mean, yeah, you fell apart with the World Cup qualifiers, but you've made it into AFCON, which we didn't expect.
No.
And then you have got what is arguably the best attack with players that are just amazing.
Everyone in form. Everything is clicking for
Just be the 4 best teams. Think of yourself as Desiree Ellis, and all you need to do is be a bronze medalist to qualify for the World Cup. And that's all we ask of you. But if you can go further and win the AFCON,
just don't defend, nigga. Just don't. You're a defensive coach. We know that's what you built Kaiser Chiefs and whatever other teams want. But this time, the strength is the other side.
Lottie and I seem like we're very delusional. We're sounding like Liverpool fans.
quiet. And I'm shocked.
We're sounding very much like Liverpool fans.
And I'm shocked that you two gentlemen, knowing all that you know, coming from the darkest of places that we come from, would leave the uplifting of the country spirit to Bafana Bafana. Hi,
Personally, it's not even leaving it. For me, the upliftment of South African spirits was with my Nana. And those spirits, for me, are still very much as if with Bafana, it's I just believe in you. And if you disappoint me, I'll be disappointed.
But I still believe in that.
But for me, it's
we should be in Qatar in 2022.
Yeah, well, I mean,
with this team, if this team keeps going, we should be.
Talk about 2022 a little later.
2021.
But for now, it's a thing of I genuinely believe. I'm excited, and I'm always an optimist. With the Proteas, I fought tooth and nail to say that, come on, man. Scores of 350 plus, the Proteas, with Quinton the Cop, don't even need the rest of the batting. Quinton the Cop. Then with Kagiso Rabada, the best bowler in the world, with Imran Tahir, the best old bowler in the world. Look at them now. So I'm always an optimist. And I used to go on radio on 702 and spend a good 5 minutes just saying, I'm going to be wearing my shirt tomorrow on Monday. And I'm going to say, every bulletin will start Bafana Bafana. My whole bulletin will be Bafana Bafana. And then they will get their asses beat. And then I will come back with a lower voice and say, well, I'm hurt. But maybe I better be scared on Friday. So until Bafana is no longer in that competition, I will continuously say that they will do better than what most people expect. And it's okay for South Africans to be despondent. These morons have hurt us many a time.
Time and time again.
But these morons, including the man leading them now, have hurt us many a time. But I have no reason, I've got nothing to lose by being optimistic and being patriotic. These are my only senior men's national team players. They are the only, I don't do Bafana Bafana. I don't do Bafana Bafana. I don't do Nigeria. South Africa gets knocked out, I will watch because there's nothing else on TV. I don't watch much.
So I'm going to say this. Look, I'm looking at that team and saying, I've got hope and faith in that squad. I'm very quick to be negative when it comes to
realistic.
I'm very realistic. But in this instance, I'm going to back them to the last game. I just said they're going to get 7 points from 9. I believe that they will make it out that group. I believe that they'll make it to the semi-final. Looking at the whole tournament, looking at the players that we have. And that's a big thing. You know my feelings about Bafana Bafana. I've said this before.
Can it just be said as well? I mean, I know I talk about that's just who I am. But can it just be said that
we've noticed
being despondent, not even wanting to watch Bafana Bafana is a norm. The last time Bafana Bafana
do something different.
The last time Bafana Bafana ever did anything worth congratulating was qualify for the 2002 World Cup. Because beating Slovenia. Beating Slovenia in the World Cup with Belenom Vete, Dr. Belenom Vete. With the ball ripped like coming off of his shoulder, knee, wherever it came off.
We don't know
It doesn't count. It doesn't count. The last time South Africa ever did anything
But for one under
was 2001. You know, beating France in the World Cup when Nicolas Anelka was really just, you know, being Nicolas Anelka in the 2010
I don't
World Cup.
care.
That also doesn't count. The last time South
already
Africa
out to them.
ever did anything worth feeling like, yeah, it's like we are the best team in the country was
2000.
17, 18 years ago.
And
So,
but for one,
if South Africans feel like, Bafana Bafana, these boys have been disappointing us for as long as
You know,
people's life, like
many times
lifespans.
bitten.
There was a child born the last time Bafana did anything significant.
and he's never seen any.
What matriculated this year? Asuboni Bafana has anything of any significance. There are people who've lived through Bafana's disappointments. I'm not one of them.
So Bafana approaches in all concepts.
But so it's understandable to be negative, to be like, I'm not going to waste my time watching those guys tomorrow. There are people who are going to be watching the Women's World Cup and not Bafana. And that's okay. That's okay. And when they win, and you want to come back and remember you're South African, I won't. I will welcome you.
I will remind you.
Because that's
No,
how it should
you
happen.
must welcome them.
I will welcome
Because you can't blame people for
You
being
cannot
disappointed.
blame people.
When we've been used to
I'm
so much
like that.
disappointment.
I'm petty like that. I will remind you.
No,
You
no,
know I'm petty.
the disappointment has been.
I know
has
you.
been-
I'm petty like that. I will remind you, and he knows this. I will make sure for him.
But just my point is,
Let's for once just go and support the country.
Me, I'm being the voice
patriot.
of reason.
he's being the devil's advocate. He's
Yeah.
being that guy that's just like, you know what? Remember what these boys have done to you for 18 years.
We're being optimists.
I'm just
On the plus side,
word of note.
Bafana Bafana may be terrible. We're not San Marino.
Some standards to measure us by. I think in wrapping, is there anything else that you gentlemen wanted to discuss? Just in terms of AFCON, in fact, maybe outside of that. Yeah, we never did much of a check.
anything, right?
Yeah.
So our interest in Super Rugby is done. So that's the wrap up.
South Africa's interest in Super Rugby is done. That's what he actually means.
That was quite sad, actually.
Was it really?
It was.
Did we expect anything from those two?
The Bulls are kind of.
I think if
Why? Because they beat the Lions?
No.
I expect. I actually
Even the honorable Thabiso Chabalala says, please, man.
I just wish that the Bulls had played the Brumbies. That's all I'm going to say. But
The
they might
same
have.
Brumbies that beat the Sharks?
Yes.
The same Brumbies?
Yes.
I don't think any South African franchise would have played any other team in the quarterfinals and did anything different.
No, the Sharks, personally for me, the Sharks were disgusting.
So were the Bulls.
The Bulls were not.
The Bulls were not.
The Bulls were not.
They were not disgusting.
That, what, 35-28 in New Zealand, a week after you come back from a 4-week tour
Against who?
against the Hurricanes.
Oh, please.
This guy is disgusting. I don't respect
I mean, the Hurricanes may have beaten the Lions in the final in 2016. They're trash now. They're hoping Bowden Barrett is still Bowden.
Are you saying the team that got the second most amount of block points are trash?
Yeah, I am.
So there's only one good team.
Because who did they get them second to?
Are they only one? So
Who
you're
did
saying
they get them second to?
the Crusaders.
Thank you.
So is that the standard? You're saying based on this standard they're trash.
Not even
Magale.
Toulouse can match up to Crusaders. No, it's all. And that's not to say that I don't love them. That's for me to say that the Jaguares need to go all the way to the final. Please.
It's their tournament too.
Please. Because what they've done, they've beaten New Zealand franchises like
In New Zealand.
all season. Like they were nothing.
Okay.
All season. They were nothing. Jaguares this year are what the Lions were in 2016. So I'm very much here for them. But them doing anything.
The Crusaders have a Rolls Royce pack. Have you seen that pack? Like the replacement comes out.
Is that who they play in the semis?
No, they play the Brumbies. You're gonna win that.
Will they really? Will they really?
Yeah.
Do you know what I genuinely believe? And I mean, this is far-fetched and totally out, and I'm Garicha. I think Australian football, which is what they call it, Australian football, will get better now that that fucking bigot is no longer there. Just intoxicating the entire country. Now you see the Brumbies coming up, even though he never even played for the Brumbies.
Banks has played well.
They are coming up and they're like, there is no more Israel for Dick. No more. We are here now.
Australian footy is good, but I think
Jaguar is not going to beat the Brumbies.
I'm saying they're going to beat.
Okay. I hope they do, but they're not going to.
I hope they beat them too.
I hate Australia.
I call that they will beat them.
I'm calling a Crusaders Jaguars fan. Oh my god! You don't sodomize New Zealand teams in New Zealand and do this at home.
Yes, you do, because Lions did it. The Lions did it for 3 seasons. They sodomized everybody, the Crusaders included in 2016, and they still got fucked. In their own backyard!
Crusaders win the tournament. I think we agree that the Crusaders will win the tournament. But I'm saying
I want the Warriors in that final.
I want the Warriors for us to feel better about this whole season. I'd rather have the Warriors.
The weekend special listeners and viewers, this is a man who said he doesn't do underdog stories.
It's not an underdog.
It's an underdog story. Argentinian football, rugby, is underdog.
That's the whole. We're playing.
It kind of is underdog.
It's not. That's the whole national team.
That's worse.
That's the whole fucking
That's
national
worse.
team.
The whole national team for how many seasons in Sanzar and they couldn't do shit.
Right, moving swiftly along. Is there anything else that
Shout out
piqued your interest? Shout out to Bafana Bafana. Are they back in the country now?
They are. They came back on Wednesday.
Yeah.
Janine van Beek is still not retired. I'm worried because she might just want to keep carrying on, which she shouldn't. She's got about 170 caps. She's done the country proud. She led us to the World Cup.
She's come back to play.
And she must come back and just run JVW and hopefully come up with something else other than JVW. But thank you, Tembi Khatlana. I need to see you playing up against Asisat Oshwala in Barcelona. If not there, go to Olympique Lyon and go win yourself French titles and the Women's Champions League. And ball out. If not there, then she must stay in China because that's where the money's at. But she is not to leave. She's not to play for anybody else other than Barcelona Feminine or Olympique Lyon Feminine. Those are the best teams in the world right now.
Maybe she can go to Juventus.
No, she can't. Juventus suck. Juventus can't even win their own league.
So who's the top?
Let's go to Arsenal ladies.
They must go to yes.
Or Chelsea ladies.
No, Arsenal ladies. Arsenal ladies is the best English team. Yes.
Okay, cool.
So maybe genuinely, I feel like Bafana, Desiree Ellis.
Shout out Jermaine.
Now is the time for you to step aside because SAFA will ruin you. SAFA will give you the professional league that you want, and then they will heighten the expectations of you. They already didn't want to give you the job when Vera Power left, making you caretaker for 2 years.
Speaking of which, is Thomas not still coach of
Thomas
under 20?
very much coach of under 20.
Did he resign?
No, he can't resign. He has nowhere to go. He's no longer the assistant coach of Bafana.
Okay, cool.
There was word going around that he might be
the head coach,
Yeah.
or that he might be chopped. Well, if he's chopped and he's left, then good for him. But that means he doesn't have anywhere else to go.
There's a job at Kaiser Chiefs.
No, there isn't. $1 million. But nevertheless, my thing with Bafana is Desiree Ellis must step aside now.
I agree.
If the Women's League, professional league, is going to come up, I'm hoping the likes of Mamelodi Sundowns, I know Pirates and Chiefs are.
No, Chiefs will never.
They've got their heads so far up their asses, they don't think women's football is worth investing in. So,
Sundowns.
Bloom Celtic ladies, Mamelodi Sundowns, and all these,
Super
Sport, but yes, Galaxy, those guys, we are hoping you guys can start the women's league.
I want to start.
Allow the likes of Rodam Lauti and Refugio Jani to, if Canberra United in Australia fails, they can come back home and then bounce back out to China, America. But professional league, Desiree Ellis, step aside from SAFA. You've gone onto the world stage. There must be somebody out there that wants your expertise and wants to know how you did it. But yeah, SAFA's going to ruin you because SAFA ruins everybody.
Okay. Hold on. Your takeaway from the movie. Just summarize what you think of Bafana's performance.
I think they did themselves no harm at all. I think could have been better. I think it would be harsh to say that, especially. I think what they've done.
They got cheated.
Yeah, in that first encounter. I think what my takeaway from their performance is that they need the support of a professional league in the country.
Your takeaway?
My takeaway is obviously professional league, but it's not harsh to expect excellence from them. But also excellence is not by the standards of America and Germany or Sweden or China.
Yeah.
It's by the standards of South African football, which they themselves have created. They created and exceeded time and time again since COSAFA. So for me, it was, you've already qualified for the World Cup, something that nobody ever expected you to do when you get to the World Cup and you play the way you did in the first half against Spain.
Hold them for 60 minutes.
And then you play like that until the 60th minute. What happens after that 60th minute doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter to me.
But do that 60 minutes
every time.
in each of the 3 games you're going to play. They failed to do that against China, who were there for the taking. And then they failed to do that against Germany. And that's partly fault to Desiree Ellis as well. Her inexperience, it's understandable. For starting with the wrong people,
mix of people,
including the wrong people during the game.
And Smeda.
So now I'm at a point where I'm saying, if you, Desiree Ellis, are going to stay with this damn association and this beloved national team, you better qualify us by winning AFCON for the next World Cup. 1, 2. You best not fuck up next time. Nigeria may have qualified for the quarterfinals for the first time back in 1999, but there were only like 6 teams in the world playing the World Cup then, so it was easy for them. You need to be there with Nigeria and Cameroon qualifying for the knockout stages in the next World Cup, because we can't have Temikhatlana, Linda Mutalo, Roda Mlaudzi, Leandra Smeeda, Jermaine Soposenwe, Kane Swart, Angela Dlamini, despite your mistakes. We can't have those kinds of players. And then you've got
non-competing.
The Bambanani Mbanes in the middle. We can't have that quality of players.
Not competing at an international
quality
level.
without professional leagues. Mind you. Not playing quality football in the next World Cup when they will be refined. Because when these women start getting refined now, we've got an 18-year-old left back who stood in for Nothando Vilakazi when she got sent off.
Yes.
That young lady was supposed to be writing her exams just now. She was in France representing the country.
So we need.
When you, Desiree Ellis, can bring in such young talent on such a stage, if you're going to stay with the national team in 4 years, when they're refined, knockout stage, chief, it should be the minimum they should give us.
Yeah,
but nevertheless, by now I was happy.
I was very happy to World Cup. My takeaway from the Women's World Cup is they were poor. They were not poor in the first game. China is not a slouch in terms of women's football. Spain is not a slouch in terms of women's football.
They are actually, but no.
But in terms of
they have
a profession. The mistakes that Banyana made is just because they don't have a profession. I don't think it's mistakes where you can be like, I didn't call no.
Like you can see the difference between
a professional outfit like Germany.
You can see the difference between Refugee Jani and Temikhatlana. Temikhatlana scores goals that superstars in Barcelona, Olympic Lyon score.
Dream.
Yeah, she's playing professional football.
Yes, and for me that's what I take away from it. And I think shout out to them. They've done the country proud. So Super Rugby is done. The World Cup's done. And the 20 World Championship. We lost to France in a very disappointing game.
But it's okay because France took the title. So I will always be alright with losing to the guy that wins the champion. And they beat Australia, the French.
I love it when you
shout out.
I think we
beat New Zealand.
There's one thing that all 3 of us can agree. It's always nice when England lose. In any sport. It's always nice when Australia lose in any sport. And it's always sweeter when South Africa beat Australia.
But it's nice when white people lose. I don't care what country.
That will be edited out.
But yeah, guys. But I think we had to chat. How long have we been going?
Quite a while.
What's all about?
Hour 20 minutes.
Okay.
We've had to chat
As we wrap up. I just wanna
some chatty patties out
here. Yeah, like I really just wanna also throw a shout out to the netball women. You know what I mean? Netball doesn't get the kind of love it needs to unless the women do something like heavy, noticeable, you know? And I think the World Cup is coming up in July in England, in Liverpool.
Yep. And South Africa will be there.
South Africa will be there, the 5th ranked nation, which they shouldn't be 5th ranked with the kind of players we have playing in England. But Bongim Somi being the first black woman to lead the South African team into a World Cup is immense. So Norma Plummer best be smart about what she does, because Norma Plummer is leading a team into her own country. Bongim Somi is leading her team into a country she's very familiar with. She plays the netball there. She plays the netball there. So South Africa is at a point where I said a little earlier in a bit of a skit, we don't have to win the World Cup now. It would be better and sweeter if we win it when we hosted in 2023. But if we do, I'm not going to say no to it, because that means we're going to win it definitely in 2023. So South Africa, go out there and do amazing things, just as the men, shockingly, did amazing things in the FIH Series finals.
Yeah,
we qualified just so much, close for the Olympics.
we're in there, right?
Well, they're not gonna
we
go
need to
because-
win the African Cup for us to seal our place, but we've placed ourselves in the qualifiers for that Tokyo.
But are they going to send them there?
Well,
They did the same thing.
well, they did. They are going to, because I had a chat with the head coach, Gareth Ewan, at one point, and he said the nitty-gritties have been ironed out, and
Award-winning journalist, we did say.
they will go. So
Inside.
So I think
This is
South African sports, in terms of the Proteas capitulating, under 20 team not doing what we know them to be capable of doing, Banyana, please, don't even shit on Banyana.
Banana was successful.
But with South African sports being where it's at, then obviously Katasemina shagging the shit out of everybody around the world, we're at a good place. Women's netball is going to continue flying the flag really high because it is really high. It's higher than it's ever
Can I
been.
ask you a question, please? I want the content Jaguars. Do they have like a pair of like that's my team of choice.
The Gauteng Jaguars, by the way, if you don't know, are the Telkom Netball League winners. And the Telkom Netball League, by the way, if you didn't know, is the very first professional netball league South Africa has ever had.
And they won it now.
And they've just won it now. I mean, they used to win the Football Foot Netball. So Gauteng Jaguars are just the best netball team in the country. They are the ones that are dominating
I asked you a very
the national team.
specific question.
They don't. They don't. To answer your question, they don't. They've just started Rantile. You can't want to now.
But they're my team. I need to support.
They're my team too. They're the country's team. Maybe buy the national team jersey first. Maybe support the national team.
When is the World Cup?
The World Cup is, I don't know the particular dates, but it's happening in
July.
the first 2 weeks of July. Yeah,
July.
first 2 weeks of July. So
The
the Spar Proteas is what they are. Hopefully they can restore the dignity and pride in the name Proteas. Thanks to Spar for being there.
they've seen them through for
Yes,
some
yes,
time.
they have. So look, man,
I'm gonna wrap this episode up.
I can talk about national teams forever, dude.
Yeah,
Especially the ones doing real things.
quite clearly.
So wrap this up. Take us home.
Nah.
This guy. So you just got against us. Okay, cool.
I did.
So we're happy with this. This is where it ends, right? I just want to ask one thing. If you were to predict where we end up in the AFCON, give me a place: semi-final, final, quarterfinal.
Bronze medal. Semi-final.
Semi-final. So losing. You saying
Bronze medal.
I'm saying finals.
Okay.
I'm going all the way in.
I'm lying. Look at me.
So what
You can go onto my Twitter account and you will see.
Just give me.
I've continuously said Bafana to win AFCON.
You saying winning.
Bafana's winning AFCON.
Just wrap it up with that. Okay, guys. So, Morena, we love you.
It's always a pleasure.
Good seeing you. It's been a while, actually. This has been overdue, actually. And now,
This is coming from people that are talking to comrades medalists, talking about it's been a while.
it's been a while.
You listen, let me do it for them.
Yeah.
The Weekend Special podcast, sports podcast, TWS_SA on Twitter. If you're not following, which
Which is weird.
it shouldn't be talking to guys that are winning one award, SAP Sports Media. They should be talking to Mutsidisimo Horn,
Yes.
South African Sports Journalist of the Year. They should be talking to Makala Maheta, comrades marathon finish medalist. I mean, my brother may have done it in just under 12 hours, but Emana, have you ever run 90 kilometers? Makala, shout out, man.
He's talking to Hachiba Diamond. We need to be talking.
If you're going to be talking to a Lion's eighth man in Hachiba Diamond, you can't be talking to someone like this and saying, yeah, it's been too long. It's not been long enough. But I'm not supposed to be here in at least another year and a half because this podcast has transcended. I want to coach Intezra. The usual one. And I'm only saying this because Komuso did not want to record this podcast at home. where I started with this podcast. So that's the kinds of levels we have gone as a TWS_SA, and I say we because I emotionally can only share. So to expect me to always come here, when I get invited, I feel so honored. That's the only reason why I'm here. There was a time where I used to blow them off. Yeah, I can't know because hey, Papa. I'm going to be seen. So in closing, on my side, is to say TWS, it's not on my level anymore. It's here now, and it's attracting the kinds of people that I can't even put it into words. So shout out to the Weekend Special podcast.
Yes, please.
Thank you for the kind words, though.
This is episode God knows how many of season God knows how many.
Season 4, episode 18.
That's what it's about.
Yes.
And we've moved to YouTube.
Yeah, and we're officially on YouTube now, as you can see. Please do subscribe, hit the subscribe button. We're going to give you the typical YouTuber chat. Hit subscribe, it's down here somewhere.
Right.
And all the episode information will be on there. Guys, TWS_SA as this.
We all have a problem with Spotify, but we're fixing it.
Spotify is the problem, not us.
TWS_SA is the handle on all social media. Twitter and Instagram, the Weekend Special Sports Podcast on Facebook, and on YouTube now. So please make sure you do listen in, subscribe, and engage with us on your chosen social media platform. It's been a great episode. Thank you very much, Morena, for coming through.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's good to be back, and I quite enjoyed this. I missed this.
Great chat, guys. See you on the flip side.
Okay.